Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video we're going to talk getting started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and today we're going to take a look at the Nighthaunt and how we can start an Emerald Host army. In this video we're going to go through exactly what it is Emerald Host gives us as a sub-faction for the Nighthaunt, what the ability is and how we can use it on the tabletop, and then we'll look at some units we should start our collection with and units we can then expand our collection with later after those first initial purchases. We'll then show a little sample army list at the end of the video for you all to use as some inspiration to make your own army list, or indeed copy ours if that's what you wish to do. And so with this army Nighthaunt, it is a Nighthaunt sub-faction, and we don't lose any of the Allegiance abilities for being in this sub-faction, so we still get Aura of Dread, Ethereal, Discorporate, Frightful Touch, Vanishing Phantasms, and of course Wave of Terror. All pretty cool. Now, we do get a really cool ability for this, and this is after armies have been set up, but before the first battle round begins, you can pick D3 plus 1 enemy units on the battlefield. At the end of each battle round, you roll a dice for each of these units that you picked, and as long as they're on the table, you roll the dice. On a 2+, that unit being rolled for suffers D3 mortal wounds. However, if it's a monster, it will take D3 plus 1 mortal wounds. This is really good at taking out enemy characters, being able to pick, all their little support heroes, potentially knocking most of them off by the end of the game. But pretty solid stuff. This is really nice, and it can go well with a lot of the other things Nighthaunt can do to bring some mortal wounds to the table. It's probably worth mentioning as well that the Emerald Host is Lady Alinda's personal bodyguard. She is, of course, the Mortarch of Grief and the main focused character in the Nighthaunt battle tome and army. And so, to get started, I don't think there's any better way to start the Emerald Host than going and grabbing the big lady herself, Lady Alinda. Lady Alinda is a really good piece. She's not too shabby in a fight, with 6 attacks from her Spectral Claws at 4s, Ren 1, Damage 1, and 4 attacks from the Staff of Midnight at 3s, Ren 2, Damage 2 as well. She put out a decent amount of attacks. On top of that, she has a ward save of a 4+, along with a 4+ armor save. She has the No Rest for the Wicked, where she can once per game heal D6 models back to every Nighthaunt unit on the table that's summonable. She has the Mortarch of Grief ability, where everything within 12 inch of her that tries to use a command ability that's not from your army has to roll a dice, and on a 5-up, if the command point is both lost and the command ability does not be issued or received. Lifting the Veil, she's able to do some mortal wounds at range from scaring people with her face. And then Grief Stricken as well is a spell that allows her to cast an 18-inch range and casting value of 7. If successfully cast, you pick an enemy unit within range invisible to her, subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made by that unit, and add 1 to hit rolls made by melee weapons from friendly Nighthaunt units that target that unit. All in all, she's just got a lot going for her. Good utility, decent amount of damage, and she can be protected really well in some cases. Now, alongside her, I don't think you'd be right in starting an Emerald Host army without going with Hexwraiths. They are her sort of disciples, as they were. Now, what Hexwraiths do nicely in this is you're already doing out some mortal wounds based on the sub-faction's ability. So Hexwraith's ability to do mortal wounds on the charge is just going to double down on that. You're able to sort of splash some mortal wounds around the table with your Hexwraiths charging, which is really cool. It should be said as well that this sub-faction is definitely the one, if you're trying to go for a more mixed style arms list of Nighthaunt, this is probably the sub-faction to go down. And speaking of going down that mixed sub-faction list, we're going to talk about a few very different units. First of all, Spirit Host. Now, their big thing is before you allocate a wound or mortal wound to a friendly Nighthaunt hero, instead of making a ward roll for the wound or mortal wound that would be allocated to the hero, if any friendly units with this ability are within 3 inches of that hero, you can roll a dice, and on a 3-up, the wound or mortal wound is instead allocated to the unit of Spirit Host. Really, really solid stuff. This makes Lady Alinda super, super survivable because it is before her ward roll. So you make an armor save, then allocate them away, and then make a mortal wound save against any she would take, which she ignores half the ones, and then she's ignoring 2/3 of them onto the Spirit Host anyway, of which she can then start healing the Spirit Host and just bring back full Spirit Host bases because they are 3 wounds apiece on a 4-up save. They also have 6 attacks at 4s, Ren 1, nothing, damage 1. But like we know, or with the abilities of the Nighthaunt, you've got some ways to get some rend in there on them. And also lots of attacks means the chance for every model to try and get through those auto wound hits with the Spectral Claws. Dreadscythe Harridans are another great unit because the army is going to be doing some splash mortal wounds around thanks to its allegiance ability. Dreadscythe Harridans really come into their own because they're going to mostly be able to get that +1 hit and wound from the Murderous Bloodlust ability, where they have to target units that have either taken damage that round or had models slain from their unit. This, of course, means they get benefits against any unit that's been afflicted by the curse of the Emerald Host, which is really cool. You also subtract 1 from wound rolls nearby, so this can work really well in tandem, making the Spirit Host and Lady Alindra really hard to remove. Now, Lady Alindra's other thing is she is a pretty good wizard, and if you're looking to sort of support her in the magic and allow her to make more use of magic, definitely the Murmur Banshees are something to consider as well. They've got some great spell-eating abilities where they can help you get some dispels and some unbinds on the table, and they're not too bad, packing out a decent amount of rend, which neither of the two units we've talked about so far sort of do. In this, that's what they're really here for. They offer some different rend. But lastly, let's talk about the Cruel Ghast Cruciator. I just think he's an amazing model. His ability, if he's able to get in range to do it, and provide some -1 to damage around him in a 12-inch aura if he's within 12-inch of any units afflicted by Terrified, he can be really, really useful. He's also not too bad in combat for a Nighthaunt character. 4 attacks at 3/3s, Ren 1, damage 2 is pretty nice. 6 wounds and a 4-up save as well, meaning he's pretty safe. And also, if he's near the Spirit Host unit as well, he's protected from them as well, as he is another Nighthaunt character. And so here we have our little sample army list of the Nighthaunt, Emerald Host, Shays. We've gone for Prize Sorcery as our grand strategy, just because we really do think that Lady Alindra at 1,000 points should be hard to take out in this. Now, she is our only leader because she does take up a fair amount of points, but she's our general. Lure of the Underworlds for lifesteal, another great healing spell. She effectively does some mortal wounds to an enemy unit, and for every one she does, she can heal a wound. This is just another good sort of healing ability, making sure she can stay and affect the battlefield for as long as possible. We're then going to have Battle Iron, 5 Hex Wraiths, and then 6 Spirit Hosts as well. 6 Spirit Hosts not only are a good way of keeping Lady Alindra alive, but they can also be a pretty useful unit on the offense as well, with so many attacks coming out of them. We then have 10 Dreadscythe Harridans, which you could easily swap for another 5 Hex Wraiths if you want, or indeed get another 3 Spirit Hosts in there. It's completely up to you. But I like the Dreadscythe Harridans. The fact that you're going to be doing the splash mortal wounds and get that +1 hit and wound, you can really help take out some units. Lastly, we're going to have the Mortalis Terminexus, which is one of the Nighthaunt's endless spells. This one allows you to choose to either slow down or speed up time. And so, after the endless spell is moved, the player who moved it can declare whether they will reverse time or hasten time. If you choose to reverse time, you can heal D3 wounds allocated to each unit within 6 inches of the endless spell, more healing. Or, if they choose to hasten time, you can roll a dice for each enemy unit within 6 inch on a 2+, the unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. So pretty cool. Can damage enemies, can heal you. What's really cool about this is because you've got Hex Wraiths and Spirit Hosts, you're able to use the Mortalis Terminexus to heal those units while it won't bring back models and its current form. May be able to get an FAQ to be able to do that. At the current point, it just heals. It's not too bad. A little thing to have some extra healing and keeping Lady O alive. If you are playing Nighthaunt or plan to play Nighthaunt in the new book, let us know what you're excited for and how you would love to use Lady Alindra in the new book down in the comments below. And so that is the end of the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel and drop us a comment. Let us know what you thought about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fine little community here at Sinful Gaming, you can come and join our Discord server, which is linked down in the video's description. Lastly, if you'd like to help support the channel, you can do so either by supporting us on Patreon or YouTube members, both of which are linked down in the video's description, or you can indeed go grab some merch on our Ko-fi store. We've got some cool Sinful Gaming dice, which you'll see used on the channel, down for sale in there. Lastly, as a special thanks to everyone who supports on Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give you all a shout out on every video we do that you support. So a thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, James, Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lowe, Alderin Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nielsen, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Dynet226, and Derek. And a shout out to our YouTube members and a massive thank you as well to Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Chris Wallace, Ronya, Villy, Lockloric, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Sean Scott, and Pink Nico Fire. Lastly, a massive thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel, and to Xmorphic, who has done amazing work in setting up our Discord server and doing amazing work over there. Thank you all for watching once again. Stay safe, everyone, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.